And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford and the professor with you this morning. Nice Friday. If you're out traveling about the Lincoln area, apparently Main Street right there at 321 Main Street in Lincoln is all shut down. Has been since 2:30 this morning. According to David Keever, when he was going into work, there are some massive power lines down.
No Bojangles for
I guess you could come in
commuters.
from, well, you have to come in from the other side maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where they've got it blocked off. You said when you came through, you just went straight across.
Straight across.
So I don't know what's going on. They got to do something because they've got the elementary school there.
Oh, yeah.
G. Massey.
G. Massey.
And so just to make you aware, I would say based on what he said, there's a lot of large power lines down. So if that's the case, I would say that's going to be a little while. It's going to take them a little bit to kind of get that fixed. And if you do have power, I know our office at Times Oil has power this morning. Like Keever said, that's probably going to go off because they're going to have to fix it.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. Let me update you from the CVAC last night. We had Maiden over Lincoln on the boys' side, 35-34. Maiden will advance to take on West Caldwell tonight. On the girls' side, it was East Burke over Bunker Hill, 56-41. They advanced to take on Newton Conover, who had defeated Bandy's earlier in the week. So that game will start at 6 o'clock, girls 6 o'clock, Newton Conover, East Burke. And if I'm not mistaken, the way Butch told me, it's not an 8 o'clock game. It is 10 minutes following the completion of the first game. I'm guessing that's still the way it's going to work.
It's not like the finals are just rock chalk, Jayhawk. I mean,
That's what it looks like.
Newton Conover girls, West Caldwell boys.
Yep.
Maiden or Lincoln could have been either one.
Mm-hmm.
Close game, low scoring, obviously.
So that's where we stand with that. East Lincoln and Hickory. East Lincoln and Hickory will be in the finals in the boys and the girls tonight. That tournament's being held at East Lincoln High School.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there tonight. East Lincoln in their third meeting of the year with North Iredale. The two teams split the regular season. East Lincoln 47, North Iredale 46. So
Thank you, Pastor Andrew. Andy Royals says watching from High Point, best talk show, sports talk show. Thank you, sir. Milton, Richie, yeah, that's Lincoln. Richie, Lincoln, Main Street kind of shut down. I haven't been to Lincoln this morning, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But undoubtedly there's a number of power outages around in different places, kind of scattered around from the storms that came through. I told Mike I didn't hear it. I was so worn out. I had a long 18-hour day on Wednesday trying to get some stuff done for the West Lincoln Wrestlers. They've got 7 kids up there. There's a maiden kid. DJ Springs has advanced to the next round. They'll get back underway today.
I was looking last night, James Alberson, State Association PR guy. Number of West Lincoln guys advanced.
7. There were 7 made it, and I think I want to say they all won. I could be wrong. But they wanted some shirts. They wanted some shirts made up from parents and fans. And, of course, you didn't know when you're going and who's going until you got to Monday.
Yep. And
they needed them by 8 o'clock on Thursday to get down there for the tournament. So, long day on Wednesday, but glad I was able to get those things taken care of for those folks. And there's a number of wrestlers. I looked through it. I didn't really want to go over the results from day one because you got a lot of rounds to go through. I want to say they start the consolation finals first at 9 o'clock this morning, and then in the afternoon they'll move into the semifinals and then on to the championship, if I'm not mistaken. Richie said, Lanny, 2 things for you. Big college softball tournament this weekend is the St. Pete Tampa Classic, and really, my girl Annika is going to play in the Women's U.S. Open. I thought she had totally retired from golf. Annika Storston.
Oh, yeah.
A pure ball striker. I love to – well, I've said this before always. I would much rather watch women's golf because it's the same swing. They have got a pure swing. They can't putt. Sorry, ladies. They're not very good at putting as good as the men. But when it comes to that golf swing, they have got a great, great golf swing. I didn't realize Annika was going to come back and play. That's pretty interesting. And, yep, it's starting to be softball. I love me some college softball, high school softball as well.
Here's one to plug my old school. Gaston College, Saturday, launching its women's softball.
I saw that.
Martha Rivers Park. It's going to be where they're playing this season.
Mm-hmm.
Just this season, probably. They're they're getting a complex ready over at Sims Legion.
And I saw there's some construction
Yeah.
going on there.
There is.
The other day when I went to Charlotte, I noticed
But,
that.
So
And baseball plays at Sims Park, right?
yes,
I mean-
once everything's finished, we expect within a week the president of the college is going to throw out the first pitch. Sims will be ready.
Okay. You know, there's been talk that's going to tear that place down. That would be such a tragedy.
Oh no!
I mean, that's
It
historic.
would become the permanent home of the Gaston College Rhinos. There's other, obviously,
Highland Tech.
I hear that also Piedmont Community Charter is playing there. I mean, I'm going to have to get a schedule all this stuff, but yeah. And then they're building a softball complex right beside of it with some youth fields. I'm sure there'll be new parking, so it's going to be. Yeah, Sims Legion is going to be a well-used venue.
The only bad part about Sims, it's not the easiest to get to and find. It's one of those where I could see it,
You can see it,
but I can't get there.
That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah, I mean,
The
you
best way-
and when they put in the new interchange at 85, they cut out that one road that you could go to Sims right there at the last stoplight.
Exactly.
You know,
Cut out that one road.
Yeah.
I tell you the best way. Just go in on West Trade Street in Dallas, Old Dallas Road. Go in that way.
well, or you can get off at the Gaston College exit off 321.
Yeah, that's a good way.
And go over there, and
Go
then
over
take
the
a
road,
right,
go
and
over the
it'll
bridge.
take you straight in.
Straight
yeah,
in.
it'll
That's
take
right.
you straight in.
But you're right. You can see it. But
Yeah.
Ooh, how do I get there?
Yeah, you can't figure out how to get there.
That's a good
Nope,
point.
you're right. Richie Gaston has come a long way, and you know, I worked down there with Mike at one time, and
Yeah.
they were not very progressive from the athletic standpoint, and
Well,
they
it was
really
non-existent.
they really got behind all the other community colleges, especially in the area. Cleveland, CVCC,
Caldwell Tech.
yeah, Caldwell. All these were fielding tons of and it wasn't until they got a new president that was a little more progressive and kind of reworked the board a little bit. And now they want to be a player. It's nice to see those small bus vans out in front of
Yeah, we got
Gaston with the
4 of 'em.
Rhinos.
We got 4 of 'em.
for their teams.
Yeah, they're trying to play catch up, like you say. The other schools of their ilk in this area got the jump on them, but it's coming along. Okay, I mean the basketball team's like 15-10. They got a couple games left. I'd call that successful.
An inaugural season, correct?
Yeah.
For basketball.
Baseball
And
is
no
up.
home field.
No
No
home field.
home court.
Playing at North Gaston, playing at South Point, playing wherever they can, sand lots, empty lots.
Mm-hmm.
But last I heard, baseball team was 8-0. They're off to a great start. Softball launches Saturday. And here's one that's coming, Lanny. Beach volleyball.
I saw that.
Women.
I saw that.
I don't think they're going to be.
But you know why they would do beach instead of regular volleyball? They're 2-man teams.
Yeah, 2-man
Not
teams.
as many athletes.
Right.
And I told somebody this. I don't know. Have you ever been to Moxville High School? Which is it's not Moxville High. It's
It can't be Moxville.
what's the county?
No, I don't know. Not Union.
Somebody help me where Moxville is. Alan Chapman went to school there.
Davidson County? I don't know.
Somebody help me. Anyway, they have a complete beach volleyball setup at their complex with all their sports fields. The reason I know is it's just right off of 40, and there's a golf course up there called Puddin Ridge, and that's where I meet my son. He comes out of Winston, and we meet there and play golf. And they've got a great sports complex and one of the nicest beach volleyball setups that you've seen.
Awesome.
Beach volleyball is an Olympic sport, and so it's just smaller. Davie County High School.
Davie.
Thank you
right.
very much. Thank you,
you.
Andy.
Well, actually, GC is building a pit. I don't know exactly where it is. I don't know if it's on campus or.
I would think they could do that one.
They could do that one on campus, I believe. But anyway.
Yeah. Andy said Davidson County Community College is a basketball powerhouse year after year under Matt Ridge in the JUCO ranks. Thank you, Andy. Yep, Davie County High School. That's what I was trying to think of. Richie said it's funny at Gaston. Anytime they were building a new building, there was talk it was going to be a dorm. I'm going to tell you, Gaston fell behind other places. in a whole lot of things. Now, I don't ever see sports happening at CPCC just because it's so massive from what it is.
It is.
But the other community colleges around here, everybody's got them. Everybody's got sports, and it's awesome that they do that.
Well, I think it's a good brand. It's good marketing, good publicity, and
give local kids a place to go play.
Yeah, and to fulfill their dreams of playing at some next level. I know it's not D1 NCAA, but it could be a jumping-off point for some kids to maybe go to a 4-year school or at least fulfill that dream of playing past high school. And also, don't
education.
forget the fact it's an education.
That's exactly right.
Let's don't forget that.
Matt Hodge said, at least they didn't put up arches. Attaboy, Matt. In case you haven't heard, the $1 million arches, well, $800,000 arches in Hickory on 127 collapsed last night. That is not the first time they've had a problem. They brought those things in. They came in, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in Oregon or Washington. They're wooden. And if you've ever seen them, this is the honest to God's truth. They're huge over a road, over their rail trail thing, and it looks like the connector between the two arches wasn't any bigger than that cup right there. It was very small. That already have problems with it, with an alignment or cracks or something. And this was part of a $40 million bond program from what I read in the paper this morning. But those things are on the ground. And I'm wondering if somebody doesn't lose a job somewhere along the line. And maybe just because of the way they did it. I would have – there's no way in this part of the world – yes, Richie, right there at the fire department, the road that goes out to Lenore Run.
127, yeah.
Yeah, 127 right there at the fire department. I understand how pretty the wood is. I would have built something out of steel. But, hey, I don't live up there. Richie said Caldwell Community College used to have a strong basketball program. When I was there, they had won 3 national titles and were in the stretch of 5 straight trips to the Final Four. We had a Lincoln County product that was a basketball coach there at one time. Jeff Coffey.
Oh.
You remember Jeff Coffey from East Lincoln?
Are you kidding? Absolutely. I know Jeff. I knew him very well back in the 80s.
Yep. He was coaching at that point.
He also started – Jeff, I think, was also the first coach in basketball, as I recall, for CVCC.
He may have been.
He was.
He may have been.
He started.
I remember Jeff. Jeff is either 1 or 2 years older than I am. I played against Jeff.
Yeah, he was on the great teams.
He was in the Twin Tower, the Twin Tower, John Stiver.
John Stiver.
Wrote the book. It used to
double low post off.
That's correct. That used to drive Kelly Childers crazy because John had wrote a book on it. John was my principal when I got in education at Bunker Hill.
Double low post off.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and then Jeff had an older brother, Kevin, that was a good basketball player as well.
Both those guys could really play. And, Jeff was on that team with Pat Coffey, 6'10", Alan Brotherton. I mean, they were just loaded.
They were loaded, yeah.
They didn't go far. They didn't do much.
They were loaded.
Lewis Lowry. I mean, it was just
there was
Larry
a bunch
Graham. I mean, I can go on and on.
Oh, I know. Let me take a break, and then when we come back, we'll have more. Thanks for joining us here on Friday morning.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call Full Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. And welcome back. Ooh, I got an echo. Why do I have an echo?
Ooh, echo chamber.
That don't sound right. Oh, I know why it is. I got the studio monitors turned up. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't change anything. Nothing happened. What happened here? Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you back here. Wow, thought I was losing my mind there for just a second. But we're all good now.
I wanted to ask you, Lenny, your thoughts. Okay, so the Michigan coach flirts with the NFL Minnesota job, doesn't get it, and then renews his reworks his contract with Michigan. Your thoughts?
Sometimes, I honestly don't think that was a ploy for a raise for Harbaugh.
Well, that's what everybody's saying. Yeah,
here's the deal. He took a cut in pay because he had not performed,
right.
And he performed. He did deserve to get bumped back up there.
He does.
I mean, if that's the way he did, but I honestly think he wanted to try the NFL one more time. Now I think he's done with the NFL. I think that might be the last time that he flirts. But he should get a raise. He should get a bump because he took a cut because they didn't feel like he had performed.
They did 3 things. They won the Big Ten. They beat Ohio State, and they made it to the playoffs. That's a win-win.
And that was Michigan's first playoff appearance, right? Okay.
Yes. And first Big Ten title in since what? I don't know, the days of Tom Harmon and I don't know. It's been a long time.
Oh, yeah. I was looking. You said that there's a couple of things that came out. Let's go to the Detroit Free Press and see what they Rainier Saban is the writer from the Detroit Free Press. You know, he absorbed a pay cut last January that halved his salary. Half. He is scheduled to receive $41.68 million over the next 5 years, and that will consist of $8 million in 2022, with an income package averaging $8.34 million. But there was another thing. Absent the new agreement, he was due to be paid $4 million in 2022. They said there's something in here about his buyout, which is what I was looking for. Okay. His new deal doesn't include a prohibitive buyout obligation if he chooses to explore another NFL head coach opportunity. The amount he would be required to reimburse starts at $3 million and decreases by $750,000 each year of his contract that runs through 2026. But if you're making $8 and it only costs you $3 to get out, you're going to go make probably $15 in the NFL. So I don't think anybody's going to sweat that.
Yeah.
First Big Ten title since 2004.
I knew it was a while. But, okay, you're right. That could have been his last frustration. Maybe he's going to be in for the long haul.
And here's the other thing. Their 12 wins were the most for Michigan since they shared the national championship in 1997.
And you know who the star of that team was? Charles Woodson.
Really? I did not know that.
Didn't he win the Heisman?
You remember way too much.
Didn't he win the Heisman as kind of an all-purpose player? He's a DB, but he was also return artist, did a little bit, played some receiver. Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing. Harbaugh was hired in 2014, and his record in that tenure is 61-24.
Respectable. Pretty good. But at Michigan,
sometimes those expectations are so high.
They are.
And the biggest question that everybody has asked of Harbaugh is, being a quarterback, he's never been able to find the right one and develop him.
Still hasn't. Now, he had a serviceable guy this year, but they were so good in every other area, running the football, defensive line, and all and so forth. But, yeah, when's he going to get that QB that he can mold? And he just hasn't done that yet in his 7 years in Ann Arbor.
I'm just wondering has the luster come off Ryan Day a little bit at Ohio State?
Oh, because they didn't get there this past year. I don't think so. I thought there was some indications that he might be interested in the Chicago Bears job. Seemed like a natural leap. But now that that's settled, they'll be back. I mean, you can count on that. I mean, they'll be right back there next year. It'll probably be Michigan, Ohio State. I mean, who knows? Michigan State, typical Big Ten.
They have not. This is not official, but they're throwing it out there. And, of course, we talk about it all the time, and I think it's something that needs to be done. The ACC is talking about dropping divisions.
Yeah.
And there are quality matchups that they've got to start including. I've never liked divisions. I've never liked 16-team conferences.
No.
My thing, I think, now I could be wrong, I think if they expand the playoffs, the college football playoffs, you may see some conferences cut back on those membership numbers, especially from a football standpoint. Yeah. I don't like them in basketball either, because when you get away from the home and home, you need home and home matchup in every conference in basketball. Yeah. I'm sorry, I
agree with that.
I just think you have to have that.
I mean, you get a situation where Duke's only playing NC State once, and some of these Big Four teams that Tobacco Road teams we've always been associated with in our area. I'm like you, home and home, baby, in basketball.
You know, retread college football head coaches. Where do they go to restart their career and resurrect their career?
Roll Tide, roll.
That's exactly right. Well, here's the latest story. Derek Dooley, former Tennessee coach, he was the Giants' tight ends coach last season, has been hired to serve as an offensive analyst for the Tide. Mm-hmm. He was Tennessee head coach from 10 to 12, and then went to the Cowboys from 13 to 17, then Missouri's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach from 18 to 19, before returning to the NFL as an offensive analyst for the Giants, and then tight end coach. And right here, this is what shapes it up. Saban has a long history of hiring former head coaches to his staff, both for on-field and off-field roles. Current offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien was the head coach at Penn State and the Texans before he joined Alabama. Other head coaches that Saban hired included Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, Mike Loxley, Charlie Strong, Butch Jones, Doug Marrone. Now,
notice how all those guys ended up getting big-time head coaching jobs. Either they had fallen from grace, reclamated themselves. I mean, it's kind of a reclamation project too.
Yes.
Sarkisian, he was, after
his career was over.
His career was over after Southern Cal, after the drinking bout issues and so forth. Now he's the head coach at Texas.
I'm wondering where. This is a guy that I have always liked, and I'm curious to see kind of where he goes. Charlie Strong.
You like Charlie?
I like Charlie Strong. He is now, or last year, was the assistant head coach and inside linebackers coach for the Jaguars. Before that, he spent a year with Alabama, South Florida head coach, Texas head coach, Louisville head coach. I thought he got a raw deal at Texas.
Well, what, 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could be. Or were they? He probably had a losing overall record. He couldn't beat Oklahoma in the Red River shootout or rivalry.
Neither's anybody else.
No.
From Texas.
No. Let me ask you this. I heard this somewhere else. Which college program that used to be big time do you think will never get back there again? It was some interesting answers, what I heard, but I have my own thoughts. I just wonder what you thought. Is North Carolina, I know this sounds sacrilege in our area, will North Carolina basketball get back to where it was?
And I've told you how it gets there. And they, Richie, sorry, I don't think they can let their own arrogance, I don't think they can push it out of the way. Mm-hmm. They get back to prominence when they decide we got to go outside the family.
Okay, so that means you're not that warm on the current hire.
No.
Hubie Davis.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not enough time.
No. Well, 9 years. Well,
what?
He was with Roy for 9 seasons.
As an assistant.
Okay.
Okay. Do you see Alabama, when Saban retires, handing the reins over to an assistant that's been just an assistant at Alabama for 8-9 years? It's all he's ever done.
That's a great point.
Just been an assistant.
I don't. You're right.
When you take – high school's the same way. Mm-hmm. When you have a dominant high school program, you got to make sure you put the best candidate in there, even if it means going outside the family.
Yeah.
Or I think there's where Carolina – and they faltered. This could be the third time that they've done that since Dean Smith.
Yeah.
That it doesn't work out. Bill Guthridge, Matt Doherty, and this could be number 3.
This could be number 3. Doherty obviously was a disaster. Guthridge was
Roy worked. Roy was a proven product.
Yeah.
A proven head coach. Give me one more proven head coach in the major college basketball rankings that's a former Carolina player.
I think the best out there is Wes Miller at UNC Greensboro. I know it's not a top-tier program.
Well, that's there again. That's where that arrogance gets in the way, But they take somebody that has never been a head coach, but he sat on Roy's bench. So that makes him the most qualified candidate for the job.
Whereas at least Miller has been a head coach.
That's correct. So I just, to me, I think that's the part that's lacking. Now, we're going to see if they made a good hire at Duke as well.
Yeah, and you know that have you seen any publicity about the new book about Coach K?
I've seen a little.
Now, see, it was written by a New York Post columnist, and the New York Post is kind of it's a tabloid. It goes in for the sensational.
Mm-hmm.
But and then Coach K never commented on the book. He has nothing to do with the book. But the big buzz out of the book was that Duke itself wanted Tommy Amaker to come back to Duke after 25 years and replace Coach K. Coach K wanted John Shire, and we see who got the job.
John Shire's not a proven product. Tommy Amaker is.
Yeah. If you can win at Harvard, where every player is also a brilliant academic, I mean, and Duke's sort of in that mold, I'm like you.
Duke's got a lot of former players that have done well in the college ranks.
Yeah, pretty. They've all done pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been to the promised land, but they've done well.
They've done well with what they had to work with.
Yeah,
that's the difference. I mean, Richie says, and this is a key point right here. Richie says Miller never coached under Roy.
That's true.
The family thing.
Yeah, that's right. Jury's still out on O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien, I'm not a
Bill
fan.
O'Brien, not a fan of his. Yeah.
I wasn't a fan anywhere he's been.
But you got a great point, Lanny. We're seeing two new coaches in the ACC, the signature programs, Duke and Carolina. How's that going to work out? We don't know. Shire's recruited well, but that doesn't mean necessarily you're going to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Brandon said all these former head coaches are taking analyst jobs because they can still get the money from their old contracts because they aren't in an on-field position. When you take an on-field position, you lose some of that money.
Oh, no wonder they're all all turning into analysts. They still get their own money and make a little bit from ESPN or Fox or wherever it is. Yeah.
But I just and I'm not a Carolina hater, but I'm not a fan. I'm just and I always liked Roy. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was class act.
Class act.
But I just don't think they make the right decisions based on coaching and what's best for the team because they let that
loyalty.
And I've told this story before. You're a Duke fan.
I am.
When
unapologetic.
When I was recruited, the school that recruited me the heaviest, wanted me worse than anybody else, was Duke.
Oh.
I could play. And I could get in, I had the academic standards to make it as a student at Duke. Okay?
Then old Danny Ford with his tobacco.
But they had no program.
No, they didn't.
They had no program. But you know what they would always say? Do you know what this scholarship's worth? Yeah. Do you know what a diploma from Duke University means? And I said, unless I'm going to law school, politics, med school, I said, if I'm just going to get a job, I was an accounting major.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a piece of paper as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And I said, if I'm going to apply for a job and the guy that's hiring me is a Carolina graduate, I'm probably not getting a second look because of that same old adage. So I don't think you can throw that part in there, I guess is what I'm saying. You've got to be able to separate what the meat of what they have to offer you is, And so I just think there's programs that make mistakes based on something that has nothing to do with the sport or the coaching.
Right.
Based on
marketing
these
marketing and recruiting.
Yeah.
Another school that was, in football, almost unanimously, everybody thinks that Nebraska will never be back to where they were.
Yeah, probably so.
I don't think so either.
But one of the things that hurts Nebraska, just like it does a lot of schools, they have no relevance with the conference that they're in.
No,
because there's no ties there. There's nothing. Yeah,
nothing historically.
When
they were
you
Big 8, they were Big 12. No.
When Nebraska gets away from Oklahoma, Kansas, State, Texas, Colorado, Kansas, That net right there. When conferences decided it was in their best interest, maybe for the conference, but you had a lot of schools that did not and will not survive because of decisions they were made and where to put them in a conference.
Yep.
They have no relevance.
Yeah, Nebraska this doesn't have a fit culturally or geographically in the Big Ten for me.
Should never have been.
No. I mean, yeah.
Maryland still doesn't fit, and geographically it does, but it still doesn't fit. It doesn't have – Maryland doesn't have the same appearance or characteristics of other Big Ten schools.
Not at all. It's an Eastern school.
I hate to say this. Because I am an ACC guy. ACC schools are a little squishier than Big Ten schools and SEC teams.
Yep.
I mean, that's just real.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they can't compete. They got a different look and feel about them.
Yep.
And that's where, these folks have got to figure that out, and they're making decisions based on money. Was the Carolina job the same way as Duke? Did the Carolina powers that be really want to make that hire of Hubie, or did they want to go in a different direction?
That never
kind of like Duke.
Nobody is, I don't know of any books published on Roy like this. It's a big revelation. Like the Duke brass wanted Amaker, and Kay wanted Shire. So I don't know about that. I don't know whether there was any internal struggle or disagreement at Carolina.
All right, let me take a break. But when I come back, I don't even know who Shire is, okay? I want you to educate me on that just a little bit. We'll be back in a moment.
It's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit MooneyInsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with department staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call Remember today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
And welcome back. Glad to have you here. Final segment here on a Friday morning. I'll remind you again, if you're down in the Lincoln area, part of Main Street is closed off right there at 321 due to power outages. Just keeping you posted on that. I don't know if anything that's changed. You might want to just kind of reroute if you're going in that specific area. I asked you the question before we went to break. Educate me on who Shire is. Is Shire Hubie Brown? Did he just play at Duke, only work for Coach K? What's the tie-in?
Well, his main claim to fame was, he was the point guard on their 2010.
That doesn't convert to coaching.
True.
That's what always, I guess,
I think he
concerns
might have
me.
had a sniff at the NBA. Don't think he really stuck. He might have played a little.
Did he play a little European?
Might have played a little European, and then not long after that, by the time he was 23 or 4, he was on Coach K's bench. And that's it. That's been it. He's
when his playing career kind of ended. So the other thing that I think is important, I think to be a really good head coach, there are exceptions. You need to work under different people in different environments because you learn and figure it out.
Okay. So you don't think working under one of the greatest to ever do it is enough?
You may not be able to translate what he's able to translate with his players.
Okay.
And everybody has to develop their own style.
Right.
But
I see what you're saying. Getting exposed to different coaching styles, philosophies.
That's correct.
Is
what works, what doesn't work, what
Yeah.
works for me.
Yeah.
You may learn something that you never knew, a technique, way to handle kids in a relationship. I mean, anything.
Yeah, and that's where varied experience comes into play, as you said. But it's going to be interesting. 2 or 3 years from now, how will we think of Duke and Carolina with these new guys?
Well, here's the problem. If those two teams aren't relevant, Syracuse days are over. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Boeheim's surely.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
I mean, Buddy and Danny and all the other Boeheims that have played for their dad.
Louisville is an afterthought now. It's not the
Louisville
national powerhouse that it once was.
Louisville's a circus. They fired their coach. I don't know that they'll be back anytime soon. Well, yeah.
So who else is left in the ACC to carry the torch?
Tony Bennett's all I know of. He's solid.
And
Not exciting, but they
right now, the best thing that the ACC has to offer is Wake Forest.
I like what they're doing with Steve Forbes.
But it's still not a dominant national product.
Well, we only got one team in the top 25, right? And that's Duke. That's been the case. But I don't really care about top 25. We're just going to see what happens in the big dance.
Yes. Now, can you explain the quad one win stuff? I thought it used to just be RPI.
Yeah, quad one. If you beat a quad one team, that's a team that's in the upper echelon statistically, schedule wise, power rankings. And they keep telling me that Carolina doesn't even have one single quad one win, yet they're 10-5 in the ACC. I don't.
But the ACC's so weak.
It is weak. But I don't get. Jay Billis is always talking about quad one. I don't I'm like you. I don't quite understand what the criteria are.
I'll ask you like this. They've gotten to the point, kind of like, and I don't follow it, so I can't speak really in depth on it, but NASCAR, you can't figure out points in NASCAR anymore unless you're a diehard, really digging into it. You used to could, but now you don't. You can't figure out the formula on how they do it. So now college basketball's done the same thing. What determines a quad one? What is a quad one? How do you?
I'll try to look that up and get an.
But I mean,
Mars sports talk guy.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The average fan.
We don't.
And nothing draws bigger of the average fan than the big dance.
No.
And if the average fan can't figure out how you get there, how do you hold that? How do you hold those?
Landy, do you think college basketball's just come down to filling out your bracket? Wake me up in March. That's my feeling.
Oh, yes.
That's all it is now.
Yes, it is. That's correct. That's.
I mean, even me, a diehard college basketball fan, outside of Duke, I don't watch anything. I don't care. Wake me up in March. I'll fill out my bracket. We'll see. Throw up the balls.
All right, Richie's going to get it. The net and quad wins are what they go by. Carolina does not have a quad one win.
Mm-hmm.
What has helped them is they were undefeated against quad 2-4 until they lost to Pitt.
Okay.
They also have a net ranking of 30.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Net ranking of 30.
Well, when you take 500,000 teams into the tournament, it's pretty easy to do it. But
yeah.
All right, first of all, college basketball doesn't need to start after Christmas.
I agree. Let's don't go November. It's interfering with football.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to carry over. Kind of like NBA basketball should be a shorter season that kicks off on Christmas Day. That's the big official NBA basketball day in December.
Is there any other season in professional sports that starts in October and doesn't end until the end of June?
Almost like hockey's just about like that.
Okay.
The NHL
but that's
is just
the NBA.
About. I know. No. I know. But I guess the question is, Richie, who came up with this? Where were the new metrics designed and nobody told us about them?
Yeah.
That's my question.
The quad. When did the quad? The public, what's this quad?
And then, like you said, they were undefeated against quad 2-4. Well, what is a quad 2-4, and how do you get there? Is it? I mean,
there's a win over, say, NC State, a quad 3.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't
really know.
Here again, I think they've complicated it to the point to where we'll wait for the what's it called on Sunday? The Selection Sunday. We'll wait to Selection Sunday and then do it.
Throw it up. Yeah.
We've gotten. People were worried about expanding college football playoffs would become like basketball, where the regular season was irrelevant. Well, to get into the big dance, you don't have to win your tournament.
No.
You don't have to win the conference. There's no prerequisites out there to get in.
No.
And as long as college football, if they expanded, as long as they don't get to that point to where there's not some true measurables that you have to do to qualify you to get in, it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
I went back before. I was talking to Bill Bender about it. I'm still a fan. I wouldn't mind seeing if you had a 2-day tournament to get to 32, what would you have, 128? 128, and then it would become 64, and then you play the next round, that 64 becomes 32 teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of these conference tournaments that they have in basketball.
Which have become pretty –
they're useless.
Yeah.
Take 28 teams, come up with how you want to rank your top 32. The weekend before the actual tournament gets underway, you play 128 teams and come down to 32 teams, and those 32 come in and have automatic qualifiers winning the conference or some things like that. I mean, now it's gotten to the point where mid-majors, I don't think anybody likes that word anymore, but mid-majors, they get one bid. You got to win your conference tournament to get that one bid.
Just about.
And I can remember programs that were practically undefeated and lost one game in the tournament and missed out, one game in their conference tournament and missed out on going to the NCAA.
Well, like Davidson.
Davidson did it one
They're
year.
having a great year.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they lose their conference tournament?
That's correct, because they're only going to get one bid. Matter of fact, Davidson is, because I keep up with them, we carry them in Mooresville. Davidson is 21-4. 11-2 inside the A10. They lost against Rhode Island this week.
Yeah, they did have
and
a
I'm
loss.
and I'm trying to remember the other one. They play St. Louis tomorrow. But yeah, you're right. It just doesn't make any sense.
Are they getting in if they don't win the conference tournament? Automatic bid.
I would think they would if they're high enough on this net thing. Richie said the net is a combination of game results, strength of schedule, game location, scoring margin, net offensive and defensive efficiency, and the quality of the wins and losses.
Okay.
You had me to the last line, Richie. When you talk about the quality of wins and losses, it becomes an eyeball opinion test, and that's not good measurables to determine, in my opinion. That's the part I don't like about the committee for the college football playoffs. I want it to be measurables that don't change.
One other question for you, Lenny, talking about playoffs. Do you think we're going to run through the current contract in college football 2025 before they make any changes to the playoff system? Do you think they're going to hold out that long, 4 teams?
I don't think they're going to have a choice because they can't come up with a consensus. They can't figure out how to do it.
ACC don't want any part of it. Their commissioner came out saying we're not interested in expanding the playoffs right now. We got too many other issues. So you're right, no consensus.
What other issues?
I don't know. I guess name, image, likeness.
How about this? How about
transfer portal?
How about if the ACC was being left out for about 2 years of the playoffs?
They'd come crawling back.
This year, right?
Yeah, like this year.
They did not have a representative.
They did not.
Somehow, I think they'd want to do that.
And let's face it, were it not for the school you signed with, Clemson, they would hardly be a player.
Oh, I know. Richie said quad wins take into account the RPI ranking. So if a team beats a team at home in the top 50 and the top 75 on the road is a quad one win. Okay. And I'm assuming that is based on top 50 RPI ranking.
So RPI still figures.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think, Richie, going back to the net thing, strength of schedule, game location, scoring margin, net offensive and defensive efficiency, and that's getting way too deep for me.
Very esoteric is my word.
My
big
deep.
Word of the day for it.
Milton sums it up best here. He says ACC football has fell off the map.
Well, outside of the standard bear Clemson, which they'll be back, but yeah.
Yeah, kind of understanding. Yeah. All right, we got to get out of here. Hope you can join the boys in the morning. They'll be on from 8 until 10. You can catch everything.
All those tournament finals tonight.
And the pairings will come out tomorrow for basketball.
That's right.
I wonder, usually about 1 or 2 o'clock, I would think.
Usually, yeah.
We'll try to keep you updated. Richie said Phillips had reasons about not expanding. He wants to take care of home first, get the ACC scheduling better and a few other things. The ACC were the ones that screwed up and made this conference so big. That's their issue.
Well, yeah. Under, what was the guy's name? John Swafford.
That's right. Out of North Wilkesboro, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, and here's another fact. Did you know that his brother, Bill Swafford, went under the name of Oliver? He did Starshine.
Yes.
He did.
Yeah. And they were all good athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Gene, the song from Hair. Yeah,
yep.
So.
Pretty successful.
Yep.
All right, guys, have a great day. Boys, will see you here in the morning. Take care.